This is the Lab 8, which is the standard and triggered turrets. So I had two rather simple designs and one a little bit more complicated design. The more complicated design is the gateway turret. And I talked about this in my discussion, but the only time that I've really experienced turrets in a video game is in the context of area control or defense. Despite the actual definition of a turret being the top of a tower or whatever, regardless, the first puzzle, the player is going to have to interact with the lights and the lamppost. Similarly to my door puzzle challenge that I'm working on, I'm actually going to implement an interact blueprint so that it actually functions that way instead of me just saying it does. At least I'm going to try. And essentially you got to interact with all four lampposts to be able to go through the triggered area without the turrets activating. And if you don't, then the turret activates. The second one is the running path turret. This is like kind of a standard game idea where you have a pathway and you have it surrounded by turrets firing at different rates or speeds that the player has to run through and dodge them. That puzzle specifically is an addition to my previous moving platform puzzle little level that I did, because this guides the player up to that the third one of that puzzle. And then lastly, kind of in relationship to the other puzzles I've been doing where I've kind of made this narrative that the player is trying to like infiltrate this palace, is that there are turrets inside the palace, and that the bottom floor is like a trigger room, and once the player walks into that room, these four turrets that are up in the air would then activate and fire, and the player would then have to go back into cover and try to maneuver their way up through the palace without being able to use the central area, unless they figured out a way to disable said turrets. But I'm probably not going to implement that last part, like, actually, because I'm not sure how to do that. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know. Got my title, name, and legend up here, and I think everything is labeled pretty well.